Hey guys, Alienfantom here, and today I'd like to go over the Season Pass with everyone. So, like in my previous video, in order to get the Season Pass, you'll have to go to the Royal Boutique and buy Star Fragments. Most likely, you're going to want to get the 1,000 Star Fragments since it's about $10 to get the Season Pass, and this will be your close bet to how much you need. Once you get your Star Fragments, you're going to want to go to the Astral Shop right here, and you'll see right on this screen the Season Pass, and you can buy it for this many Star Fragments. And once you buy it, it will no longer show up here, along with anything else that you buy out of the Astral Shop. But once you do buy it, it's going to be right here in this purple tab. And you'll see all the different things that you can unlock. There is 100 different things that you can unlock, and some of these things are things like ingredients packs, which you'll get 120 of these for the rare ones, and more for the common and cool ones. And then you'll also get outfit sets like this. Now I'm going to be going through each and every one of these. Some of them I'll just gloss over because it's not that important. Like, for the first tier, which you will also be able to get to with the free pass, it's just 3 lockpicks. That's all it is. Which is a small amount, and it's not too big. But the next tier, which is also part of the free pass, you will get 500 likes. Now for the third tier, this is where you start to get actual items that you can customize your character with. And I will be showing each and every one of these items on each of the species currently in the game. So you get a good decision on whether or not you actually want to buy the Season Pass for some of these items, or whether or not you want to try and trade someone to get some of these items. It looks like this in the game, and you can change the colors. So that's what it'll look like with some of the colors changed. Now this is how the artist bandana looks on the dragon. On the jackalope. On the kitsune. And lastly, on the senri. For the next item on the Season Pass is also another item that you will get for the free pass, which is the vendor cap. Now this is how it looks normally. And these are how all the dies would look if you would change it. And this is how it would look on the dragon. How it looks on the jackalope. How it looks on the kitsune. And how it looks on the senri. Now for tier 5, you just get 1,000 likes, and for tier 6, you will get the Scholarity Book Stack. This item will look like this. And my scenery is rather small, so let me get a bigger animal in here. It's not a very big item in the slightest. Now next on the list, for tier 7, you will once again get this on the free pass, and this will be 3 lockpicks. Tier 8, you will get the Bodily Enigma. Now you'll bring this over to Trigelia, and then once you're there, you'll be able to craft the assorted bottles. Now the assorted bottles will look like this in your sanctuary. For tier 9, the next item will be the Vendor's Sash. The item looks like this. And dyed, these are the different color options. This is how it looks on a dragon. This is how it looks on the jackalope. The kitsune. And the senri. Next up, for the free pass also, you'll get the Treasured Open Book. This item will look like this in your sanctuary. Oh, okay. Alright, well, the dragon does not like to sit forward. But if you ever wanted to just sit down with your character and read a good book, there you go. Now, tier 11 is going to be Lake Root common ingredients. And you will get a total of 900 common ingredients from Lake Root. So, pretty much everything you see in this bag will be items that you will be getting, except for the rare and cool items, because I believe the Twinkle Twine is a cool item, and the, I forget what that's called. It's something rose. That is a rare item. But the Glow Dust, you will definitely get a whole handful of this, and trust me, you're gonna need it later, so don't give it away. Hold on to that Glow Dust. That was my mistake. Someone was asking for a whole bunch, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, here you go. And then later, I needed a whole bunch. Also, if you need Glow Dust, the best way to get Glow Dust is to send any swirl chairs that you get to Latchkey, because each swirl chair will turn into 3 Glow Dust. Especially if the area for the Glow Dust isn't currently open, which right now as I speak it is open, but by the time this video comes out it might not actually be open. So keep that in mind. Swirl chairs. You get them from playing Twiggle Builders. So if you're playing a lot of Twiggle Builders, you probably have a lot of swirl chairs. Turn them into this. Next on the list is the Rare Plateau Fungi. This item looks like this. And I do believe it is a table. Or a seat. It could be one of many things. You decide. For 13, you will also get this if you have the free pass instead of the paid season pass, and it is the Delicate Teacup Stack. This item looks like this, and it is a stack of teacups with the plates for the teacups directly underneath. For tier 14, you will get the Petaled Enigma, and this, once you bring it to Fer.al Fashion, will give you the Petaled Tiara. It looks like this. Changing the colors. It looks like this on the dragons. Looks like this on the jackalopes. Looks like this on the kitsune. And looks like this on the senri. For tier 15, you will get 1,000 likes. For tier 16, you will get the Cuppy Enigma. And this will give you the Delicate Single Teacup. Now, this looks like this, and it is very similar to the teacup stack. The only difference is it's one teacup and not a stack of teacups with a stack of plates underneath. So, if you want to have a little tea party, there you go. Tier 17, you will also get it with the free pass, and it is 3 more lockpicks. And tier 18, you will get the vendor cuffs. They look like this. And if you are to change colors around, they look like this on the dragon. This on the jackalope. The kitsune. And the senri. For tier 19, you get the sourdough bread board. It looks like this. So if you ever wanted to just chow down a little bit of bread, there you are. For tier 20, you will get 15 bubblegum pink dies. And these dies will look like this. For tier 21, you will get the rare painting of Marvelous Miss Margaret, who is the dye shop owner. This item will look like this on the floor, and will look like this up on the wall. Tier 22 will give you the vendor pantaloons, and these are part of the free season pass. So you don't have to pay anything to get these. They look like this on the dragon. They look like this on the jackalope. They look like this on the kitsune. And like this on the senri. Now as you can see, they're coming out a bit. The legs are for this. I'm pretty sure my senri's leg thickness is extremely big. So if you have this problem... Oh, no! Those are my thinnest legs. Okay, they fit better on these legs. So if you have that problem, you might want to just switch your legs. For tier 23, you will get 900 common Blood Tundra ingredients. For tier 24, you will get the rare ceramic tail ornament. It looks like this on the dragon. It looks like this on the jackalope. the kitsune. It's kind of hard to see because the tail will not stop wagging. And lastly, the senri. Now for tier 25, you will unlock the jackalope. Now, you've already seen me show off a bunch of items with the jackalope, but I do have all the default body parts on my jackalope currently. Once we get to the unlockable body parts, I will show each of those off. Tier 26, you will get 15 lockpicks instead of the normal 3 that you have gotten so far up to this point. At tier 27, you'll get a large mirror melon fruit plate, and that is part of the free pass. It looks like this, and frankly, it's one of my favorite items from the house items for the season pass, because it's a melon, which I love watermelon, and it's mint green colored, or like teal, whatever you want to call it, and it's one of my favorite colors. So yes, I shall sit on this melon. At tier 28, you will get the tasseled enigma, which can be then turned into the tasseled earrings at Fer.al Fashion. The tassel earrings look like this. And they look like this on the dragon. They look like this on the jackalope. The kitsune. And lastly, the senri. At tier 30, you will get the vendor wraps. The vendor wraps are one of the last items on the season pass, and they look like this on the dragons. They look like this on the jackalope, which I feel like with some adjustments of the legs, I could probably get these to fit better. Maybe adjustment of the height. Okay, I don't think you can fix these for your jackalope right now, but they'll probably fix this up later because it doesn't work with any of their legs. So, hopefully one day this will look better on the jackalope. They look like this on the kitsune, and they look very well on these ones. There's no clipping or anything. Well, there's a little bit of clipping right there, but that's very, very minor compared to the dragon and jackalope. And lastly, for the senri. Now, I feel like this will be another instance where if I switch the legs... Oh, nope, they still don't fit quite right on these legs. Or do they? No, they don't. Now, since the vendor wraps were the last item for the vendor outfit, I will show you the whole outfit, but I do warn you, the pantaloons and the vendor cuffs cannot be worn at the same time. So here it is with the vendor cuffs included. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to wear both of them at the same time. And now with the pants for the dragons. The jackalope with the items, but not including the vendor pants. And with the vendor pants. Kitsune with all the items, not including the vendor pants. Including the vendor pants. I do have to say this outfit looks the best for the kitsune. I almost feel like it was made specifically for them. The vendor outfit on the senri. Now with the vendor pants. Now for tier 31, you will get 10 black dies, and these are part of the free pass. And the black dies will look like this. Now for tier 32, you will get the Bogberry Fruit Plate. This item will look like this in your house. For tier 33, you will get Mugware Common Ingredients, and you will get 900 of these. For tier 34, you will get an extra look slot for your jackalope. So where all the other animals currently only have 2 look slots that you can save and keep and bring back out whenever you want to, the jackalope, on the other hand, now has 3. And me and everyone else is also really hoping that with the fact that the jackalope now has 3 look slots, that we will either be given more look slots for the other animals, or we might get to unlock them for the next season pass. Now for tier 35, you will get an entire outfit, and this is the Jester outfit set. Now I will be going through each and every one of these items, showing you how different colors will look on them, and then showing you each and every one of these items on the animals, and then showing how each and every one of these items look on the animals together. First up we have the hat. It looks like this, and if you were to color it differently, this is what each one of the colors represent for the different areas. The Jester leggings will look like this. The Jester nose will look like this, and there is only one color option, so you can change it to be any color you want. So if you wanted a big nose on your animal, there you go. It doesn't have to be a Jester nose. The Jester pantaloons. These are all the different color locations. The Jester shoes, which only has 2 different color options. The Jester tail ornament, which once again only has 2 color options. And then lastly, the Jester top. And these are all the different color locations. Now, I will be going one animal at a time for each of these items instead of flopping through each item on each animal. So, the hat on the dragon, the nose, which maybe with the other dragon head, that might actually look like a really nice nose for it. Yeah, that's actually kind of really cute. It looks like a big puppy dog nose. The Jester pantaloons. The Jester shoes, which I do believe are very broken at this time for dragons. But that kind of also looks really cool in a way, because you'll just have a little stream of green, or whatever color you change that to, behind your dragon. The Jester tail ornament. This would probably look better with the other tail, A bit better, but now they kind of float. And lastly, the Jester top, which actually looks pretty nice on dragons. Does go through the neck a little bit, and I'm pretty sure with the other head it would go through more, but oh well. Now, all these items together, and once again we run into that problem where the pantaloons and the top cannot be worn together. So I'll start out with the pantaloons. And then the top. Hopefully WildWorks fixes these problems. The jackalope with that jester hat. Jester nose, which once again looks pretty cute for the face. The jester pantaloons, they are a bit funky on the jackalopes. I don't think it'll change with the legs because the legs are both the same shape. The jester shoes, which are once again a bit funky. I was very excited when I saw these because I thought, oh, I can finally have little Tinkerbell shoes for my characters. But for the jackalope, they get a bit smashed. The tail ornament. And lastly, the jester top, which I think looks extremely well in the jackalopes. There's a bit clipping here, but I'm pretty sure that's because I have my jackalope's legs as thick as they can be. Well, even when you thin them out, there's still some clipping. Maybe it's just a leg type. Oh, I think it's definitely the leg type. But now she's clipping up there. Oh well. Once again, like I said before, hopefully all these things will be fixed later. We're still in beta, so there will be problems. Next, all the jester items. And I think no, I'll include those too. With pants. With jester top. Next, we have the kitsune with the jester hat. Jester nose. Which once again, it does make a pretty good, big nose for your animals. It doesn't have to just be a clown nose. Jester pants, which once again, I feel like most of these items were first formatted for the kitsune. Jester shoes, which aren't broken for the kitsune. I believe all the items might not be broken for them. Jester tail. And jester top, which has 0 clipping and looks fantastic on them. Kitsune, why do you get all the best things? I want my jackalope to look nice too, you know? Kitsune with all the items excluding the jester top and jester leggings. Now with the jester top. Lastly, the senri and jester hat. Jester nose, which is super cute on my little senri. Oh my gosh. She already looks super derpy, but that nose just makes her more adorably derpy. She's so cute. The jester pants, which look a little funky. Jester shoes, which are once again a tad bit broken. Jester tail, which actually seems to be working completely fine, and the Jester top, which does have a bit of clipping with these specific legs. Now all the items together, excluding the leggings and top. Now excluding the pantaloons and leggings. Now for tier 36, you will get 2,500 likes. Tier 37, you will get a clamshell nose, and that is part of the free pass. Now the clamshell nose has two different dye areas. And sadly, if you dye the main color, it does get rid of the gradient that was on it. Cause see, there's that nice shine gradient, and the moment you dye it, oh, never mind. It just gets rid of it for the black. Well, maybe it's still slightly there. So if you dye it black, it'll be a solid color. If you don't, it'll have this nice gradient. For some of the colors, it's a little lost, but for most of them, it's still there. This is how it looks on the dragon. On the jackalope. On the kitsune. And on the senri. For tier 38, you get the seasonal cheese plate. It looks like this. For tier 39, you get the rare ceramic outfit. It looks like this. And you can change the dye options. It looks like this on the dragon. The jackalope. The kitsune. And the senri. For tier 40, you get the Shattered Bay House. This is what the house looks like. It changes the entire sky, but the grass will stay the same color. And you also get this entertaining music to listen to while you're here. This is the inside of the house. And as you can tell, it is all completely different. And it's even got different music for inside the house. The house I was using previously for this video was the castle. For tier 41, you get 15 lockpicks again, and this is also for the free pass. So even as far as tier 41, you're still getting items for the free pass if you don't feel like paying up the money for the other things. For tier 42, you get the clamshell earrings. They look like this. And as with the nose, it'll keep the gradient on the shell according to the colors. It has it for all of them, but it's kind of hard to see for some of them. Those are the 3 color options. This is how they look on the dragon. The jackalope. The kitsune. And the senri. For tier 43, you will get the cozy legs for the jackalope. Now the default legs look like this, and the cozy legs look like this. Now do keep in mind, I do have markings on my regular legs because they're the ones that I use for my jackalope. But there's no markings being used for the cozy legs, due to the fact that I don't use these on my current jackalope. And that's how they look if they're skinny. They're a little malnourished looking. And if you adjust the height, and length. Now for tier 44, you get the Cloached Enigma, and this is going to be turned into the flower coach hat if you bring it to Fer.al Fashion. This hat looks like this on the dragons. Looks like this on the jackalope. This on the kitsune. And like this on the senri. And before I completely forget, let me also show you the different color options. There is 4, and each one of these options will look like this for the different areas. For tier 45, you get blood red dye. Now, like the black dye, this is also another cool dye. And it looks like this on the items. For tier 46, you will get the clamshell necklace, and it is part of the free pass. It looks like this. It's got nice shine on the pearls. And these are how the different colors will correspond. You'll still get that nice shine look even when you dye the pearls. This is how it looks on the dragon. The jackalope. The kitsune. And the senri. Now for some of the items, I don't know if it was very obvious to see, but this little color bit right here was not visible on some of the items. So before you dye it, see how it looks on your animal. For tier 47, you'll get the rare Brody Lisa, which is obviously a spoof on Mona Lisa, but it's the one muscle character named Brody, who everyone seems to love so much. Oh, something interesting to point out is that I do believe this item is just a Mona Lisa with Brody's face pretty much put on with a piece of cardboard. Which is something I didn't realize till I looked at it from this angle, because I don't think the other paintings have a little cutout on top of them. So that's pretty funny. But this is how it looks on the floor, and because it is a painting, this is how it looks on the wall. And you can still see, if you turn your camera the right way, that it is just a little piece of cardboard that was put over top of Mona Lisa. That's honestly pretty funny. Next up, for tier 48, we have the rare Riftwalker ornament. This is how the item looks. And if you were to dye it, those are the different dye options. Something I didn't know originally is that this is actually a tail piece. I was really hoping it was a headpiece, but this is how it looks on the dragons. the jackalope, the kitsune, and the senri. It kind of looks really cool on the senri because it looks like it's part of the tail. Tier 49 is the clamshell armor. This is how the armor looks. And it's got 3 different look slots. This is how it looks on a dragon. On the jackalope. On the kitsune. And on the senri. Now, halfway through, at tier 50, you will get a second sanctuary look slot, which is pretty nice because previously you could only have 1 look through sanctuary, and that was it. If you wanted to change it and save it, you couldn't. At tier 51, you get 15 lockpicks again. And at tier 52, you get the Elder Guava Juice pitcher. And that is part of the free season pass. Now this looks like this in the sanctuary. Now for tier 53, you get the jackalope florid tail. Now the fluffy tail is the original one that you get, and this is the florid tail. You get a nice big solid color floof, and then these 2 little extra dangly bits with little tiny floofs. And those floofs will match the underbelly color of your animal. For tier 54, you get the clamshell shoes. This is how they look. And if you were to switch up the colors, those are where the different colors are. This is how the clamshell shoes look on the dragons. And I believe it's one of the first shoes that aren't broken on the dragons, which is good to see. The jackalope. The kitsune. And the senri. For tier 55, you will get 250 likes. And for tier 59, you will get the Elfie Garment Enigma, and if you bring this into the Fair Fashion, you'll get the Elvish Robes. The Elvish Robes look like this, and have 2 different color slots. I can definitely see these being dyed in different ways to make them look dark and spooky. Even if they're elvish, they still make a pretty good vampire look. This is how the robes look on a dragon, a jackalope, which I think these match pretty well with the other legs, the kitsune, and the senri. For tier 57, you will get the Sunken Furniture set. Oh my! These are all the Sunken Thicket items you will get. And you will get the Sunken Thicket chair, which looks like that. The Sunken Thicket lamp, which you can turn on, and it looks like that when it glows. The Sunken Thicket couch, The Sunken Thicket table, which is absolutely ginormous. The Sunken Thicket rug, which honestly kind of looks like a bird's nest. Or a dinosaur nest, even. Sunken Thicket ottoman. You can see through it if you want to. The Sunken Thicket end table, which is just kind of like a slice of mushrooms from a tree. And then lastly, the Sunken Thicket window. I'm not going to put this up on the wall because you can already see what it looks like on the ground, and I have to remove a bunch of these items for the next batch. So yeah, you get a lot of items for your house for this. And this is not a very big room to show them off in. I think I'm going to change back to the castle for the next time that I run into this problem. For tier 58, you get the clamshell tail decoration, which is also the last of the clamshell items. So I'm going to be showing you the whole clamshell set together then after this. And it looks like this. Pretty similar to the nose, but a lot bigger. And that's how the different die slots will appear. This is how it looks on the dragon. The jackalope. The kitsune. Honestly, with the tail that I have, it makes it look like a little hat. And the senri. Now to look at the full set on the dragon. And thankfully, all of these pieces will show together, so you don't have to pick or choose what item you want if you want to wear the whole set. And it's a very nice looking set, I have to say. And once you have all the pieces, honestly, the nose piece doesn't look too goofy with it. The whole set on the jackalope. This one, the nose piece does look a little goofy on. I feel like the nose piece in general looks less goofy on a dragon because it looks like it's just resting on top of the snout. Which it is on the rabbit too, but the nose for the rabbit, well, for this head is so tiny that it's hard to see it. The kitsune. And lastly, the senri. I don't think anything in the nose slot for this senri's look will make it not look adorably goofy. For tier 59, you will get 900 common ingredients from Mugmire Marsh, and these are part of the free pass, so that's pretty nice. For tier 60, you will get the rare Shanguni crest. Could be saying that wrong, but I'm not sure. This is how this painting will look. And how it will look on a wall. As you can see, unlike the Fer.al, there is no cardboard cutout piece. For tier 61, you will get the ornate wig. This is how the wig looks. And the different color slots. This is how the wig looks on the dragon. The jackalope. It's a bit big on their head. It kind of covers up the eyes a little bit, so if you wanted the eyes to be invisible, you could honestly do this and then pretty much color in the eyes, and it would look like their eyes are underneath the hair. The kitsune. And lastly, the senri. For tier 62, you will get the rare The Game Master painting. This is the final painting that you will get, and this is how it looks on the floor, and how it looks on the wall. I have to say, all the paintings are extremely nice looking, and people continue to make art galleries even though there's only like 5 paintings in the whole game. For tier 63, you get the Venture outfit set. There is 5 items in the Venture outfit, and they are the collar, the cuffs, the hat, outfit, and tail ornament. You have 4 color options for the collar. Three options for the cuffs. 4 options again for the hat. Four options once again for the outfit. Alright, out of the 4 different ones, this one's a bit of an eyesore. I meant for the colors that I picked, not for the item itself. I actually really like this set. And 4 options again for the tail ornament. Now, once again, since this is a whole set, I will be going one animal at a time, showing each item by itself and then all together. Starting with the collar, cuffs, hat, outfit, and tail ornament. And lastly, all together. I think this is a really nice outfit, but I do think the hat is a bit goofy looking. For the jackalope, the collar, cuffs, hat, outfit, and tail ornament. Sorry, my ears just randomly popped. And now all together. I don't like why the collar seems to stick out really far for all the animals so far, and once again the hat's just kind of goofy. But without those 2 pieces, it is a very nice looking outfit, I think. Collar. And I do feel with the collar sticking out for this animal in particular, it makes a bit more sense, but with the other 2, it just kind of looks odd. Cuffs, hat, outfit, and tail ornament. Once again, it's very hard to see tail ornaments with the kitsune's tail wagging so fast. Let's see if I can't happen to freeze that. There we go. I think I'll do that from now on for the kitsune. Now all the pieces all together. Now for the senri, there's the collar, cuffs, hat, outfit, and lastly the tail ornament. Now all together. From a straight-on front view, it almost looks like a whole suit of armor. For Tier 64, there is 15 lockpicks, and these are once again for the free pass. Tier 65, you will get the ornate gown. This is what the ornate gown looks like. And with some color swaps. This is how it looks on the dragon. The jackalope. The kitsune. I want to point out that those have gotten massive for the kitsune. And the senri. For Tier 66, you get 360 cool lake fruit ingredients. For Tier 67, you get the Elfie Tail Enigma. When you bring the Elfie Tail Enigma to Fer.al Fashion, you will get the Elvish Tail Talisman to make, and it looks like this, and has 2 different color options. The Elvish Tail Talisman looks like this on the dragons. This on the jackalope. Like this on the kitsune. And like this on the senri. Tier 68, you get the ornate amulet. The ornate amulet only has 1 color option. And it looks like this. It looks like this on the dragon. Like this on the jackalope. Like this on the kitsune. And like this on the senri. For Tier 69, you get light blue dye, and it is part of the free pass. The light blue dye is once again a cool dye and looks like this. Tier 70 is the ornate leggings. They look like this on the dragon. Like this on the jackalope. Like this on the kitsune. And lastly, like this on the senri. For Tier 71, you get 120 rare lake root ingredients. For tier 72, you get the ornate tail amulet. It looks like this and only has one color slot. It looks like this on the dragon, like this on the jackalope. Once again, it's one of those items that kind of looks like it's part of the tail, so that's kind of cool. If you would dye it the same color as the tail, it would be like an extra piece that comes out of it. The kitsune. Once again, it kind of looks like a hat for my kitsune's tail. And lastly, the senri. For tier 73, you get the rare Riftwalker staff. It looks like this. And as you can see, I did dye this before, but sadly, if you dye the flame, it doesn't actually change the color of the flame, just this teensy tiny little gem that the flame comes out of. This is what mine looks like with my current dyes. And yeah, those are all the different areas that will be dyed for the 4 different dyes. This is how it looks on the dragon, and every time that you have the Riftwalker staff on a character, it will always have this little blue extra flame. I don't know if that's a mistake or not, but honestly I think it looks really cool. It's kind of like a little extra flame spirit to follow your creature around. The jackalope with it. As you see, rather than halfway down the back, it's right above the jackalope's head. With the kitsune. This one, on the other hand, the little extra bit is right where the staff is, so it just kind of looks like an extra big flame. And lastly, with the senri. Once again, it's right at the middle of the back, so it kind of looks like an extra flame for it. For tier 74, you will once again get 15 lockpicks, and this is once again for the free season pass. For tier 75, you get the general uniform vest. This is how it looks, and there is 4 different dye options. And that's where the different options will be located. This is how the vest looks on the dragon. It does seem to clip with the neck a bit, but oh well. This is how it looks with the jackalope. Once again, a bit clipping with that fluff, but I'm pretty sure with the other head it wouldn't clip at all. Oh, nope. With the other head, it becomes kind of a face mask. That's kind of cool though, especially with the fanged rabbit head. This is how it looks on the kitsune. Once again, one of the animals that none of the items seem to clip for. And lastly, the senri, which also has absolutely no clipping for this item, and it looks rather well in it too. For tier 76, you get 360 cool Mugmire Marsh ingredients. For tier 77, you get the Cafechu furniture set. I definitely might be saying that wrong. Now, I do want to state that there is a lot of items for this, and a lot of very, very big items for this set. So, the fact that I managed to fit this all in one room is only because this is an expanded room. Which is why I'm glad that I switched back to the castle. So for the first item that I am currently standing on, it is the chess set Chinese Lounge. And as you can see, there's a lot of fine detail in this. Look at all those different animals and even the Fer.al symbol right there. It's very, very nice looking. I'll get off so you can see it a bit better detailed. All of these items are seriously super fancy looking, and I would not be surprised in the slightest if, once the season pass is over, people are going to get on their hands and knees and beg people to give them these items. It really wouldn't surprise me. Next, we have the Chesette ornate table, which is pretty nice. There's the legs for it. I am short enough to walk under it, but it won't let me. Then there is the Chesette settee, which I'm guessing is just a fancy way to say seat. And once again, the Fer.al symbol's there in all its fanciness. And then the next up, which is the first giant piece for this, is the Chesette pond. As you see, it's got lily pads, flowers, and little glimmery water bits. It's very nice looking. Now, all the way back to over here, if I cannot get stuck on things, we have the Chesette chair, which once again is very nice. This one does not show the Fer.al symbol, but it shows these deers that are right here. The other one has the... I don't think it has those same deers on the other one, but it does have the Fer.al symbol that's right there. So they do have slightly different designs, even though it is off the same kind of texture look. The next is the Chesette hanging a lantern, which this is what it looks like. I know it's not hanging off of a wall, and you cannot turn this on and off, sadly. I think it would be kind of cool if you could, but it's also got a very nice glow to it, so it doesn't matter too much. Next up is the Chesette tall window. Sorry, I lost my place. There's a lot of items in this. And then the Chesette rug, which also, I love the fact that it's got this little, like, lifted up spot that you can even see under. It's got very fancy designs. It's just the birds from the design on the couch. I forget what that was called already. Next, which is this big old piece right here, and I can barely get the whole thing in the screen, is the Chesette hedge. And then the oh, I'm stuck. The Chesette arch, hedge arch I should say, and that is all of it. The tree is not connected to that. Then the Chesette cobblestone path, which is very nice and fancy. Then, if I can get around this, the Chesette hanging banner, which is very nice. I wish they gave you 2 of these because I would like to put them outside of my castle on both sides. I think that would look extremely nice. And then lastly, the Chesette cypress, which you cannot see the top of it. It is that tall that it gets cut off. The hedge gets cut off a little bit, but the entire top of the cypress gets cut off. So yeah, that's the whole Chesette set. I'm pretty sure I've said that completely wrong this entire time. I apologize for that. I'm not good reading. But it's a lot of items and they're very big. I also wish they gave you more of these, or like that this was a pattern that you could make, so you could make like a hedge maze. But sadly it's not. Or like even just this much, like just 2 of these pieces and that piece, like connected to each other, so you can make like a whole maze hedge. That would be like the coolest thing. I'm kind of already doing that on the outside of my castle, but it's with the blue leaf bushes, so it's not that fantastic looking. Now that that's all cleaned up, for Tier 78, we have the General Uniform Pantaloons. They look like this, and they are extremely fancy, might I add. There's 4 different color slots, and that is all the locations for the color slots. This is how they look on the dragon. And if I'm not mistaken, there's only 2 items to the whole uniform set. So, while we're here, I'll also add the general vest. So that's what that all looks like together. The pantaloons on the jackalope. I don't know if it's a bit obvious, but I feel like these should be back here more. So they need to be repositioned a bit for the jackalope. And then with the vest. The pantaloons on the kitsune, which, once again, almost every item seems to fit perfectly, except for once, there's a bit of clipping on the legs, but that might just be because of the leg size I have. And with the vest. It's a very nice looking outfit, I must say. The pantaloons for the Senri. Once again, a bit of clipping right here. I feel like if they were brought up just slightly for the back part, it would be perfect. And with the vest. This is the most edgiest this derpy cat has ever looked, and I love it. For Tier 79, there is the Goldenrod die, which is, well, it was one of the hardest dies for me personally to make, because I never seem to get the golden cores, but now I have like 50 of them, thanks to the Season Pass. The Goldenrod die is once again another cool die, and this is how it appears. It is a very nice, bright golden yellow. So if you ever want your things to look a little bit bling bling, there you go. At Tier 80, you get the Renegade Tail Spike. This is how it looks. It's very, very nicely detailed. Show you. Shoop, 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 shoop. Anyway. These are the 2 different color locations. This is how it looks on the dragon. The jackalope. The kitsune, it seems to be going through the tail, but then again, I do have my kitsune's tail as big as it can go. So maybe if I shrink it a bit? No, because the tail thickness is not up all the way. But maybe if I go with the other tail? Oh, no. It's just completely lost, and the only thing that's left is spikes, which honestly is kind of cool. And lastly, the Senri. This is surprisingly the only tailpiece that seems to clip for both of the original animals that you can pick. But with the Senri, if you would make that the same color as the tail, it kind of just blends in and would look nice. So there's kind of benefits to things clipping through things sometimes, I think. For Tier 81, there is the Jackalope Lop Ears and Stout Horns. So these are the regular horns that you get, and this is what the Stout Horns look like. They got these cute little leaves on the side of them. And once again with the regular, you get the 3 color options. The lightest option will end up being right here, where this option is right in the middle and on the very top, and the brown is in the middle of the other 2. Now these are the limber ears, which are the regular ones, and then the lop ears, which will clip through the antlers if you have them so big. So if you don't want them clipping, you want to shrink your ears. If you make them a bit bigger, they still clip a little, but it's still kind of obvious that they're clipping. I'm actually shocked I don't have my ears the full length for my character. Then again, that looks kind of goofy, because those are outrageously big. They're practically wings at that point. For tier 82, you get the Bookish Enigma, and if you bring that to the Twiggle workshop, you get the Studious Book Pile. This is what the Studious Book Pile looks like. Nice little spot to just take a nap. And float a little. For tier 83, you get the Renegade Cuffs. This is what the cuffs look like before dyed. And this is all the different dye locations. This is how the Renegade Cuffs look on the dragon. They are very cool looking, but sadly they do clip with the little bit of fur that's right there. This is how they look on the Jackalope. And they don't clip at all with the Jackalope, which is pretty fantastic. This is how they look on the Kitsune. Once again, no clipping. And the Senri. A little bit of clipping, but honestly, that's the legs' fault themselves with that little bit of extra fur tuft. For tier 84, you get 5,000 likes, and it is part of the free tiers. Tier 85, you get the rare bioluminescent mushroom patch. This looks like this. It does work like a light, but you cannot turn it off. And it's just got a very nice glowy effect for it. It works as a nice Senri seat. Tier 86 is the Renegade outfit. This is how it looks undyed. And this is what all the different dye slots will look like. This is how the Renegade outfit looks on the dragon. On the Jackalope. On the Kitsune. And lastly on the Senri. Tier 87 is 15 lockpicks. Tier 88 is the Elfie Leg Enigma. Now when you bring the Elfie Enigma to the deer, to Fer.al fashion, you can make these, and they have 2 different dye slots. And there's the locations. This is how the Elvish Leg talismans look on the dragon. Jackalope, they are kind of hidden, and 2 of them go literally on the bottoms of your feet, which is kind of cool looking, because then they're kind of literally shoes. Kitsune, and Senri. At tier 89, you get the rare Rift Walker wraps. Now they have 4 look slots for the Rift Walker wraps. Try saying that 5 times fast. These are the different locations for them. And now I made them look kind of like a barrel. With a seal. That was accidental. This is how they look on the dragon. And what's nice is you can actually see that detail inside of the little coin piece. How they look on the jackalope. I really hope they kind of fix how all the leg pieces fit on the jackalope, because there's a lot of pieces that are just like these little pieces that I feel like if they rotated them, it would look less like there's a flower bloom behind them. But then again, if you're going for a flower look, this works really well. Kitsune. And lastly, of course, the Senri. And even with my little guy, you can still see the detail in that coin. For tier 90, there is the Blood Tundra common ingredients, and you get 900 of these, and they are also for the free pass. For tier 91, you get the rare Rift Walker sandals. Now they look like this, and there is only one color option. This is how the sandals look on the dragon. This is how they look on the jackalope, the kitsune, and the senri. At tier 92, there is the Renegade Spike eye pieces. They look like this, and they have 2 different color options. This is how they look on the dragon. The jackalope. The kitsune. And lastly, the senri. For tier 93, you get the Blood Tundra cool ingredients, and you get 360 of these. For tier 94, you get the Artist Outfit set. Now for this set, you get all 5 of these items, but at the very beginning of the Season Pass, you already had the Artist Bandana, which is also part of the set. But the items that you get from this chest is the Artist Beret, which looks like this, and has 2 different color options. Then there's the Artist Paintbrush, or just the Artist Brush, and there is 4 different options for this. You cannot, however, change this green and whitish bit here. Just those 4 that were changed. Now for the artist palette, this is the one item that I kept using to show off all the different dye colors because it's literally something that you would use paint on. And this has 4 different options. And there they are. Then there is the artist sneakers, which also have 4 different options. And there's all the different option locations. And lastly, you get the artist tail brush, which only has 3 different options. And there's their locations. Now once again, I will be showing off each item individually, excluding the bandana, and then I will show it with all of the items, including the bandana. First up, there's the beret for the dragon, which looks very, very nice, I must say. The paintbrush. The artist palette. The sneakers. And lastly, the tail brush. And that's the whole set all together. Next up, for the jackalope, the beret. Once again, this piece looks very nice on every animal, I think. Paintbrush. Does seem to clip a little with the horns, but you can probably always adjust that. The palette. The sneakers, which surprisingly aren't clipping at all. And lastly, the paintbrush, which with my tail it clips a little, but I'm pretty sure if you shrink the tail a bit, it doesn't clip. Oh, nope. It'll go through your body if you shrink your tail too much. I'm wrong. If you make your tail super thin, it barely does, but I like big tails. Now let's try them all together. And this is how it looks. Very nice. The paintbrush does clip a little bit with the palette for the rabbits. Or jackalopes, I mean. But, oh well. Next up, the kitsune with the beret. It does clip through the ears a little, which stinks, but oh well. Paintbrush. Palette. Sneakers. And lastly, the tail brush, which I'm going to freeze the kitsune for that. Because, my gosh, trying to look at something on the kitsune's tail while it wags literally makes me dizzy. Now all of the pieces together. And that's how it looks. Very nice, I say. Lastly, the scenery with the beret. Paintbrush. Palette. Sneakers. And lastly, the tail brush. I honestly feel like, especially with this tail, the tail brush matches the best because I already call this the paintbrush tail. Now all together. The paintbrush is so close to the ear that it almost looks like it's going to go behind the ear. I kind of felt like that would have been a nice thing to do, have a paintbrush behind the ear for the look. At tier 95, you get the Renegade Spike Collar. This is what it looks like. And it's only got 2 color options. And there they are. This is how it looks on the dragon. It honestly looks like a spiked choker, which is pretty nice looking, I think. On the jackalope, Sadly, it floats a little. I think it would be nicer if this piece was up against it more. I wonder how it changes with the different head. It once again kind of becomes a face mask for the jackalope. Oh well. Kitsune? That looks really nice. Once again, it looks kind of like a choker for it. And Senri. This is having the same problem that the jackalope had, where it just kind of floats in front of it. For tier 96, you get the Blood Tundra rare ingredients, and you get 120 of those. For tier 97, you get the rare Rift Walker pauldrons. This is how they look, and they have 4 different color options. And it does appear you cannot change the color of the eyes for the little wolf head. This is how they look on the dragon, the jackalope, which these are so far one of the best looking arm items, I think, for the jackalope, because there's no extra items on like the legs that do weird things or clip. So that's kind of nice. Kitsune? They get absolutely massive for them. And lastly, the Senri. Tier 98, you get the jackalope fanged head. And this is what it looks like. I know I've showed it off a few times, trying to see how it would look differently for this head versus the other head. I like this one, but I do wish there was still the neck fluff like the regular head. I also feel like the head looks a bit massive, but at the same time it doesn't. It's kind of a weird middle ground, and depending on what your look looks like, this head definitely is pretty nice. For tier 99, you get the rare Rift Walker helmet, which is the absolute last piece of the Rift Walker set. So I'll show you the whole set together then after this. This is what the helmet looks like, and it has 3 color options. There's the locations for all 3 of the options. This is how the helmet looks on the dragon. It's kinda nice, but there is a bit of a piece that's sticking out in the back. Oh well, what can you do? And while we're at it, let's see how each piece of the whole set looks together. Oh, that's a shame. It does appear that the pauldrons and the wraps cannot be worn at the same time. I really hope they fix that problem, because it stinks when you have a whole set like this and you can only pick one or the other. And once again, the staff would match with the whole thing a bit better if I didn't have it dyed for a different character. But that's how it all looks with the wraps, and then with the pauldrons. Personally, I would pick to wear the pauldrons since there's already the sandals that go along with it. Next up, we have the jackalope with the Rift Walker helmet. It's kind of really massive on the jackalope, but it also looks kind of nice. Now with all the pieces excluding the Rift wraps, and with the wraps. This is what the helmet looks on the Kitsune. It's a little goofy looking with how big it is. Now with all the pieces excluding the wraps. And now with the wraps. Lastly, the Senri with the helmet. And oh my gosh, I believe that helmet would look a lot better on the other Senri head, since this Senri head is very tiny as is. Oh yeah, that fits much better. Although, with how my Senri's head looks, it looks extremely goofy. Now with all the pieces excluding the wraps. Now with the wraps. Lastly, at tier 100, you get the Renegade Horns, one of the coolest items on here and one of the most sought after items for people. The moment I got these, I started getting a whole bunch of people asking me if they could buy them from me. And my response was no, I literally just got these. I was kind of really upset that people started harassing me the moment that I got them because I was so happy to finally have them. And it kind of makes me not want to wear them because I just get harassed as soon as I put them on. This is what the horns look like as the default. And this is what I currently have my horns looking like. And yes, you saw that right. Every time you change the color of the horns, the fire changes with it. Which makes me wish I had like 20 of these, because then I could have a pair for each of my characters and could just dye each pair a different color. Sadly, unless if I wanted to make 20 different accounts and spend, what, $200 for each account to have the season pass and then earn up the season pass, that would be the only way that I would be able to get each color for the Renegade Horns. So, if I ever want to change the color, I have to go and make the dye for it. Which stinks, but what can you do? These are pretty awesome looking, and definitely I feel like they're worth the season pass. Like, this and the jackalope were the whole reasons why I bought it. Mainly the jackalope, but this was a nice extra. Ooh. So yeah, they're pretty nice looking, especially since the flame literally changes color according to the color that you pick. They're seriously one of the coolest items in game, and I hope for the next season pass, the 100 tier item will be as cool as this, if not cooler. Please be cooler. Please. So this is how the horns look on the dragon. Pretty nice. And this is how the whole set looks on the dragon. And thankfully, every piece of this set can be put on your pet. Or not your pet, on your animal that you play as. And it is literally one of the coolest looking sets out of all of them. Like, just these parts alone for the face, like this neck part, the eye part, and the horns, are just so cool that I would literally just use those and I would kind of ignore the rest. The rest is cool too, don't get me wrong, but these three items right here are seriously my favorite. They look the coolest on almost every animal. How the horns look on the jackalope. And if you're wondering, yes, this is what I use the horns on, because this is now currently my most used look. The Senri used to be my most used. And how the whole set looks on the jackalope. Now for the jackalope, I would probably take off all of this extra stuff down here. Although it does look kind of cool. You can make like a really punk rock looking flower outfit with this. For the rabbits. How the horns look on the kitsune. How the whole outfit looks on the kitsune. Pretty awesome, I must say. And lastly, how the horns look on the Senri. And shockingly, the color actually matches my Senri a bit, but not the brown. And all the pieces on the Senri. Once again, a really nice punk rock look, which looks kind of adorably hilarious on how derpy my little kitty cat is. I love it. I kind of want this to be my Senri's normal look. Oh, that's so weird. This is literally the most ridiculous thing. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know this was a long video. It's gonna be a pain for me to edit. This has literally been a 4-hour long video. That's not even a joke. I didn't realize how much time had passed till the last time that the game just decided to poop on me. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I hope to see you again. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye!